guys, it's Erica. Welcome back to Maniacal Reader. Today I'm going to be doing part 4 of my BEA Book Haul. I got lots of books at BEA, so let's continue on with this haul. The first book I want to show you is Phantom Limbs by Paula Garner. This is a YA contemporary book. Otis and Meg were inseparable until an accident left Otis's little brother dead and their lives changed forever. Otis and Meg haven't spoken or seen each other in 3 years. During that time, Otis has become an unlikely protege to an 18-year-old amputee named Dara. She's determined on transforming Otis into the Olympic swimmer she can no longer be. When Otis learns that Meg is back in town, she's forced to face difficult truths about her friend Meg and to remember the brother she's never stopped grieving for. This book is about their friendship journey and what they've chosen to forgive and forget about each other's lives. I also think that this book is about Otis's journey in discovering herself after this accident and after her brother's death. So I think this is a personal journey for her as well. This next book that I have to show you is Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. This is also an arc that I found at BEA. This book follows a woman named Ruth Jefferson, who is a labor and delivery nurse. When it comes to a routine checkup on a newborn, she's told that she's been reassigned to a new patient. Her new patients are white supremacists who don't want Ruth, who is African American, touching their child. The hospital complies, but when the newborn baby goes into cardiac arrest, Ruth hesitates before performing CPR. This choice changes everything, and the white supremacists take Ruth to court. Kennedy McCory is a white public defender who's been assigned to Ruth's case, and the story unfolds from there. Jodi Picoult is one of my all-time favorite authors. I own 16 of her books. I met her at BEA and got a chance to take a picture with her. I haven't really talked about any of Jodi Picoult's books on my channel because since I started my channel, I haven't read any of her books. But if you look at my Goodreads list and my read shelf on there, you'll see that my bookshelf on there is littered with Jodi Picoult books. I'm looking forward to reading this arc of her new book, and it's going to be released on October 11th, 2016. Next up, I wanted to show you Greenlight Your Book by Brooke Warner. This is a book that I just happened to stumble across at BEA. This book is a reference book all about selling your book in this new era of publishing if you're a writer. Since I aspire to be an author one day, I thought that this was a good book to pick up and that I would learn something, since this publishing industry is always changing. The next book I have here is Blood for Blood by Ryan Gratin. This is a YA historical fiction book, and it's the sequel to Wolf by Wolf. I don't normally read historical fiction, but I saw Wolf by Wolf on Sasha Alsberg's channel, and I found it was really interesting. This series is about World War II and what if Germany had won World War II and what would society look like. I look forward to picking up Wolf by Wolf at some point and eventually reading the sequel. Next up I have What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty. This is an adult contemporary book. It follows this woman named Alice Love, who's 29, crazy for her husband Nick, and pregnant with her first child. Alice comes to on the floor of a gym. She is taken to a hospital where she discovers she is actually 39. She has 3 children, and she is getting a divorce. The concussion on her head has caused her to lose 10 years of her life. Now she has to piece the events of her life that she's lost in the last decade. I'm interested in this book because I like to read books where strange things happen to people, and I like to read books about where characters overcome adversity, and this book sounds a lot like that. So I'm intrigued to get into it. Next up, I have The Young World by Chris Weitz. This is a YA sci-fi dystopian series. When a strange sickness has wiped out the rest of the population, the survivors have no choice but to band together. The main character, named Jefferson, becomes the leader of the Washington Square tribe, along with Donna, the girl he's secretly in love with. When a fellow tribe member discovers a clue that may hold a cure to the sickness, 5 teens set out on a road trip to save humankind. There's been mixed reviews about this book. Some people really hate this book, but some people really like it. I'm curious to see how I feel about this book. The next book I have here is The Blue Screen of Death by J. Stephen Young. I believe this is a YA fantasy. It might be the beginning of a series, or it might be a standalone. I'm not sure. Life for Colby Stevens has not gone his way. He's just turned 16. When his summer begins, bullies won't leave him alone. His only solace is his quirky nanny who can't cook. He has a resentful older sister and an alcoholic mother who can't even remember his birthday. His dad also disappeared when he was 6 years old. Things take a wild turn when Colby decides to confront the bullies, and the bully ends up on the receiving end of humiliation. Colby never laid a hand on this bully. Colby realizes he possesses an ancient magic that's hard to control. Colby ends up in detention with an archaeology professor who dubs Colby the president of the school's new club. Colby needs to learn how to control his abilities, and in order to do that, he invents an app to help him. This book sounds interesting because Colby has abilities and he invents an app. That's a new twist on a magic story that I've never heard before, so it sounds like this is a new story that I'm really going to like. The next book I have here is Hatred Day by T.S. Pettibone. Humanity is united against these beings called inborns, an extraterrestrial species that possesses godlike intelligence and abilities that bring about environmental and biological crisis. Enslaved and hated by her own inborn kind, the main character wants nothing but her freedom. When the son of a high-ranking human official is murdered and her city becomes the center of an interspecies war, the main character makes a deal with the inborn commander. This book sounds like it's definitely a YA dystopian series, and Hatred Day is the first book. I heard about Hatred Day through Cassidy Voynshay's channel, and I was actually given Hatred Day at BEA. I met T.S. Pettibone. T.S. Pettibone is actually a pen name for identical twins. T.S. Pettibone is really nice. I loved meeting them at BEA, and they were so kind and generous. They just actually gave me Hatred Day when I mentioned it was on my wish list, and I can't wait to review this book for them. The book definitely sounds interesting. I'm curious to see how the main character gets out of her tricky situation. The next book I wanted to show you is The Witch Hunter by Virginia Boecker. This book follows a girl named Elizabeth Gray, who is the best witch hunter around. But when she is accused of being a witch herself, she is sentenced to burn at the stake. Salvation comes to Elizabeth from a man that she thought was her enemy, Nicholas Paravel, who promises to help her escape her execution if she promises to unlift the curse that has been brought upon him. From the looks of it, this book sounds like it could be a YA high fantasy book but it could be a YA paranormal fantasy as well. I think it's a cross between those two genres. Since I like witches and witchcraft, this book definitely sounds like something I would be into. I can't wait to read it in the future. It sounds awesome. That's it for this video today. I hope you guys liked it. Comment down below and tell me which book you think I should read first. I have so many books, it's hard to pick and choose which one to read first. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!